Hi, everybody. Sorry. Welcome to Grab a Cup of Knit and Chat. This is episode 22. I'm in my craft room. It's a nice day outside, but it's kind of a cloudy, weird lighting day, so sorry about that. I don't have a whole heck of a lot today. This is my second time trying this video. Things are not working great, so I'm really gonna try to stay on task and get through. So grab a cup of whatever you want and let's get to it. I have my Sprite and I have no finished objects. I have some things I'm working on and I have one to talk to you about. So I did start, I think I showed it a couple of weeks ago. I started the Traveler hoodie from Andrea Mowry, and I did the ribbing and I worked up until a little bit past where she said to work it to because I didn't want it very cropped. And I was noticing I was going through a lot of yarn for something that I had enough yarn to make it with. And I was like, I can't do this because I was using Studio DK and apparently it's been discontinued and I couldn't get the color anymore. And I was like, what is wrong with my thing? And I'm like looking and looking. So I finally put it on barber cords. My gauge was right, everything was right. Put it on barber cords and it's about that much. No kidding. It is 5 inches too wide for my body. And I was like, what did I do? And I kept looking at the pattern and I was like, I cast on the right amount. I underlined everything so I wouldn't get confused. And then I read in the pattern that each pattern had 5 to 8 inches of positive ease already built into it. And so I was like, crap. I did size too big, so I went down a size. And hopefully that would work, but I wound up frogging 2 weeks worth of work. Really about a week and a half, because I started it on flock and I had all that done and it's an easy knit and it's not that bad and I had a lot of knitting time. And but yeah, I was like, no way, this is not working. So that was a little irritating because it's a bottom up, like most Andrea Mowry patterns. It's a bottom up pattern and it's a little harder to try on and know exactly how things are going to fit. Excuse me. So you get a lot of knitting done before you're even able to try it on. I should have put it on barber cords when I got done with the ribbing. Um, but I didn't. And that's just how, or at least after one repeat of the stitch pattern. But I will this time. But that's almost 300 stitches that I have to cast on for a sweater. And that's a lot because I have a larger waist and I have a larger bust and everything else is not quite that big. But, it does make a difference. So enough whining about the Traveler hoodie. I will get it cast back on. I'm even doing it in a different color because I was doing it in like this beigey color and now I'm doing it in more of a tonal green. I don't know if it's the same green as that. You can't really see it very good. It looks more bluish on the camera. But yeah, it's a pretty green. So the next thing that I'm working on is my pressed flowers hat. You can't really see it very well. I'm almost done with the first repeat of the pattern. But this is done in, let's see if I can get it out. English Rose Fluff, which is on the top, and Unicorn Horn, which is a merino variegated. Is it merino? Fluff is by Le Garçon. English Rose, it's a sport weight, baby alpaca, fine merino wool, mulberry silk, and yak. And that's this one. And then Unicorn Horn is superwash merino. And that's this one. My poor skein is just all messed up. But that's what it looks like. And these are some little pink foxes that I picked up. I think it's Always Be Kind yarns is where I got those. But yeah, I love it. So this is my first charted pattern. I've had this pattern for a long time. And I went into I say a local yarn store. It's probably about 45 minutes away because it's in Salem, Oregon, and I'm further south. But I went in there and I asked them, because I wanted to make the Misurina sweater, was going to be my first charted, and it's a color work and a cable in between. And I was like, can you tell me if I'm reading this right? Because I don't want to get started and then, you know, not know what to do because I messed it up. Because in the Misurina, you have your color work chart and then you have the cable chart. And I'm like, is there any knitting in between? Is it just go straight from the color work to the cable? And apparently it's go straight from the color work into the cable, and the cable is what splits. And some of the color charts have when you're reading bottom up and left to right. And if you're working in the round. And if you're working flat, then you're reading bottom up. I mean, right to left if you're working in the round. And bottom up, right to left, then left to right if you're working flat. Say that right. Anyway, some of them have a stitch that separates the color work motif, and some of them don't. The Misurina has the cable that separates. So you do the color work and then the cable and then the color work all the way around in the repeat. This one, I was talking to them about because I asked them questions on it as well. And it has a, when it starts out, there's not a breaking piece or I call it a breaking stitch. It's all one all the way around, and then you just start again and again and again on your repeats. And then as you get up toward the crown, then it has that one stitch that kind of separates them, that breaking stitch as I call it. Excuse me. That's in my Toft bag that I got from my little, I did a daffodil kit or something like that from Toft, and that's the bag, and it's perfect size for something this small with 2 skeins of yarn. But that got me started on my chart working. So now I knew how to read the chart from bottom up and right to left, working in the round and so on and so forth. But they just reinforced the fact that I knew that I was doing it right. And then I understood the chart key, because everybody's key is a little bit different. A lot of them use universal things, but that you always want to read the key and make sure you understand what the symbols mean for each pattern, because some designers do mix it up a little or use their own thing. So now that I have that down, I've really stepped into it. I was gonna do the Misurina, and I decided I'm gonna start with the pressed flower. And then, walking around Flock Fiber, I had seen so many, so many Alpine Bloom sweaters out there. And I was like, you know what? I'm not real comfortable with my cables. I'm just getting started. Let's see. And I just went off the deep end. So I started my Alpine Bloom, and I showed the yarn that I got at Flock Fiber, which I picked up 2 skeins of spin cycle yarn in Burning Sensation, which is this right here, which is gorgeous. And I went in with that thinking, I went in my local yarn shop, which is only 15 miles from here, and I was going to get a blue, like a darker blue color to bring the blues out in this. And she was like, you know what? Why don't you do a burgundy? So why don't you do that? Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? This is Heritage by Cascade Yarn. It's superwash merino nylon. It's a sock yarn. This is color number 5606, but it's a burgundy. And this is what it looks like. Isn't that gorgeous? I put it on barber cords. I thought, well, it's still not spread all the way out. I don't know how it's going to fit. It's not been blocked or anything. I still have 12 more rows or 14 more rows. I can't remember. 12 or 14 more rows on the chart, which there's 2 more increases. And then I have increases to do before I split for the sleeves. But that is these 2 colors right here. Spin cycle for the color work, and then that burgundy from Cascade Yarns. And I love it. And I'll show you my floats. I thought I did pretty good on the floats. There are some places that are kind of puckering, but I don't know if that's because it's still close to the needle. But when I do, whenever I press on them, it opens up, so I'm not too worried about it. I think after it blocks, it'll block beautifully. I thought about steam blocking it. Let me hang on just a second. I have gotten a steam hanger. So let's put it here and show it. So there we go. Let's see. This is just a cheap steam hanger from Amazon for like 10 bucks. But I think it's helpful. So you can see when I put it on here and put it over the shoulders, like I've tried to do on my shoulders, it looks pretty good. So I'm kind of proud of myself on this one. I've really been working at finishing the chart on this one because I'd like to get it to the point where I have split for sleeves, and am working on the body. Even though it's a short sleeve pattern, I would like to start on the body because I really jumped in the deep end. Laura Penrose of Penrose Knits has a new pattern, and it is called the Maxine sweater, or the Maxine, is it the Maxine, or the Maxine sweater? And I don't think I printed the picture, but I'm not sure if I did. No, I did not. And I'm test knitting it. And let's see if my tablet will open up, because I started my episode recording on my tablet, and my tablet kind of overheated and decided that it didn't want to do anything. So it shut down on me and I lost everything. So now I'm recording on my phone, and now it's deciding that it wants to look for me. And if I can get it pulled up, I will show you. But I get to test knit the Maxine sweater. If you have seen the Maxine water bottle pattern that she's done, it's the same thing, only with a yoke. It does not have a picture. So let's go to, let's see. I don't know if it's going to log me in or not. There we go. Search. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it to where I can show you this gorgeous pattern. See that pattern right there? There it is. I am test knitting the Maxine sweater. And I have already swatched. My swatching is done. And I'll show you. I'm using the same yarn. I'm using Unicorn Horn and English Rose. This is from Les Garçons. This is a Hobby Lobby yarn, Superwash Merino, 100%. This is a, it's going to be perfect. Just perfect. I have went over and over and over. But let me show you the best part. I feel this is my main color. And it's a Cascade. No, it is not Cascade. It is Scout, 100% wool. It's DK. And it's in the charcoal colorway. But that is my colors right there. And I love it. So this is my main color, and these are my contrasting colors. The Maxine can be done in 6 colors or in 3 colors. So I'm only going to do it in 3 colors. And yeah, hopefully I can get I wanted to get the Alpine Bloom to the point where it was split for sleeves before I start the Maxine. And I think that would be the most accommodating thing for me. I got gauge on the Maxine and I did my swatching and all that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of excited. Hopefully that'll start soon. So that's what I'm working on there. And then that's 3 projects. The last thing, well, not the last thing. I have my dad's cardigan on the needles. I have a hat on the needles. I've got a couple pairs of socks where one thing that I'm trying to do is I like doing my socks, and I've been doing the afterthought heel, and they're comfortable for me. And I wanted to try to do the heel flap and gusset, and I wanted to try to do, I don't know, just different. I was trying to do that orange is the new black, or whatever it is. I don't know if it's the orange is the new black or what. Anyway, that sock, and there's the heel flap and gusset I just cannot get right for my foot. So I don't know what I'm doing there, but I've been told to try doing, when you get to the heel flap, go up a needle size, and where it says to make the flap 2 inches, make it 3 inches, or make it 4 inches, because I need that deeper heel. When I do my afterthought heel, I started out with just doing 5 rounds of plain knitting and then starting my decreases, and that wasn't deep enough. And then I went to, without counting the pickup stitches, and then knitting eight rounds, and that wasn't quite deep enough. So now I'm going to 10 rounds before I do the decreases, and see how that fits. But I think on my next, I don't know. This is a pair of socks that I'm doing out of my Yarnable subscription. I don't know what the colorway is. What is the colorway? Love is Love. There you go. That's the Love is Love. I think that's the February. There's the Yarnable. It is the February 2024 plush sock superwash merino nylon. And that's that. And then I'm doing, these came in my row 1 mini sets. It's kind of a, you get more of the color on the yellow there than you do with it plain. Uh-oh, there we go. And then a pink. So I'm doing the cuff in the yellow, probably the cuffs and the toe, maybe, in the yellow, and the heels in the pink. I may have to gauge. I'm thinking about starting, because I've got to where I've got my waist yarn for my, oh, that's that color of the traveler shawl that I'm doing, is that green right there. I don't think you can really see the color, but the waist yarn that I have right here is the green that I'm doing the traveler hoodie in. And it's a gorgeous, it's called Irish Rain or something. Anyway, it's a really pretty green. I think now that I have that past where I'm going to put the the heel in, I'm going to cast on the other cuff and work the cuff to know how much of the yellow I have left, because I may do a few rounds on each toe in the yellow. I'll split it in half, and if I can get the whole toe out of it, fine. If not, then the tip will be in the pink. And that's in this cute little see-through flower bag that I found somewhere. I don't remember. It was a bag that I found, I think at Target or something. It wasn't a yarn store or anything like that. So it's just a cute bag that I found, and I picked it up. I thought it would be perfect for a pair of socks, and it is. Because I have my whole skein, my 2 minis, and a big tin of light bulb stitch markers. So honestly, that's everything that I'm working on at the moment. The hat I just cast on, and it's a Salish cap, which you're holding 2 fingering weights together on a size 8 needle, and it's a 2x2 rib, and it's an amazing hat. Thank you, Kevin from Needles at the Ready, for that pattern. So you can use kind of leftovers from your sock yarns. You just kind of find 2 colors that look good together. You hold them together and you kind of twist it. And if it looks good, then go for it. Just like this Fiber Hustle yarn right here that I had gotten. You can ball this up, wind it up, and then hold from the outside and the inside at the same time, or you can make wind it into 2 different balls that are 50 grams each and work with that. And if you have some one-off skeins that you really don't want to make any more socks or anything like that, you can make those into a Salish cap. Or if you have some minis, I think it's more like, what is this? This is a 20 gram mini, and I think it takes closer to 40 grams each, maybe 40 or 50 grams each. So, you know, it's kind of at your willy-nilly. Or make a couple of fingering weight magic knot balls and just hold them together and make hats, and they'll all come out different. It'll be kind of cool. What else am I doing? I have lots of reading. God, I've finished so many books. I'm not going to talk about them all. I have a Goodreads, and what's the other one? Oh, I can't remember what the other one is. Storygraph. I have Goodreads and Storygraph. I think they're under Maggie Lindstead. Crafty Maggie 50 is my Instagram. I don't think I've ever said that on here. Let's see. There's not really a whole lot. I mean, my partner went to the coast last week and went crabbing and got mushrooms. And so we've done a lot of, putting that away. I've got the dehydrator here over my left shoulder here, or on yours it's the right shoulder, is full of mushrooms. I have another one across the room that has mushrooms and candied rhubarb. That's something that we like to do. When we moved in, there was a rhubarb plant, and we were trying to figure out what to do with it. And I found a candied rhubarb recipe. And so you soak the rhubarb stalks, you cut it like you would celery or whatever, long strips. Um, you soak it in sugar water, and then you dehydrate it, and it makes a really, I want to say, a really good sweet and sour snack. The kids loved it, the grandkids loved it, and it's not really I mean, I guess it's a treat, but one of the grandkids said it tasted like the sour gummies. So there you go. And they're eating a vegetable with sugar. But I know a lot of people like to eat rhubarb stalks by either dipping it in sugar or dipping it in salt. You're either a sugar or a salt person. This is the tart of the rhubarb with the sweetness of the stuff. And then you dehydrate it and it turns into a candy. And I like it. It's really nice. It's good to have it with you when you're out, like with trail mix. Take some trail mix and some candied rhubarb and your bottle of water, and you're set for a little while. When you're out hiking or doing foraging stuff. I still haven't done anything with my room. I've been having a lot of asthma attacks lately. It's gotten pretty bad to the point where I think it was Friday morning. Yeah, Friday morning, I walked into the office and it was just, I was one of the first people to the office in the morning, and something was in the air and I could not walk through that part of the office. I had an asthma attack right off the bat, and I tried to walk by there about 45 minutes later and it was still in the air and I still couldn't do anything. And we don't know if it was like somebody sprayed something or if it was a cleaner that was used the night before or that morning or whatever, but it's gotten really bad. And it's more perfumey stuff, so that's something for another day. Not really doing much of anything other than working on those few knitting projects. And I really need to start getting more finished. The one thing I wanted to talk about was, and real quick, I'm a pattern junkie. And I see a pattern and I like it and I want it. And I've been trying to find, speaking of which, Andrea Mowry just came out with her Framed Your Face pattern. It's the framed sweater pattern, but in a cowl. So it's just that main pattern, and I love it. And I was going to try to order more of the Burning Sensation, and they don't have any more, and I can't find it. And I think that I'm going to need more than just 200 yards of it, because with the Alpine sweater, or the Alpine Bloom, I will show you. I'm not sure if I'm playing Yarn Chicken, but I have 12 or 14 more rows of the color work, and that's how much I have left out of one skein. So I think I'm okay with one skein for this. So I don't know. I have one skein of the Burning Sensation, and I have one skein of the blue that I showed last time. I don't have it in this basket that I got from Les Garçons. So I need to look and see which one of those, because I can't get the Burning Sensation And I need to look and see if that's going to be enough for the Misurina, because I think I would like to do that same color, because each skein is different. They're basically the same colors, they just kind of dye up different. No two are ever alike. So I think I'd like to do that other skein in the Misurina if I have enough, which I don't think it's as much color work in the Misurina as it is the Alpine Bloom, because this is motif after motif after motif. And in the Misurina, you have a motif, and then you have a cable, and then you have a motif. So I think I'm going to be okay there, but I need to look at the yardage. And then if I can find another one of that bluey pink that I got from Le Garçon on the spin cycle, if I need more than one for the frame your face, then I'll get another one of those. It'll just be brighter colors, which I'm okay with. Let's see. I got off of it. But things like that, like I saw all the Alpine Blooms. I wanted an Alpine Bloom. I've always wanted a Misurina. And I had the Alpine Bloom in my mind for a long time. And then I saw the framed sweater, and I'm like holding off on getting that one because I don't like bottom up sweaters. And I don't know if that one's a bottom up or a top down, but I need to look. But I got framed your face, and I got the Salish cap, and I got a Henley top, and I got tank tops, and I've got this, and I've got that. And I have a Ravelry library full of patterns that I need to go all the way back to page 1 and look at each pattern. Are you really going to do this or not? And I need to work through those patterns and just, whatever it is, let's kick it out. Let's make it. I've got baby patterns in there. I have that I can make baby clothes, or, little cardigans, sweaters, hats, booties, all that kind of stuff, and put it in a hope chest for, I have one granddaughter that's about to get married, and, all of that kind of things. Coworkers that are having babies. One had a baby last week, and I haven't made them anything, and I'm not really sure what to do. And I either need to make the pattern and say, I want to make this again and keep it, or am I going to make this pattern? Is this something I really want? Did I buy that? I have a lot of free patterns in there. Most of the purchased patterns, I'm just going to go through and make. I'm just going to make them. Whether it's for me or for one of the grandkids or one of the kids, I don't know. But I need to start making patterns, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do season knitting, which I don't do season knitting anyway, because I'm learning really quick. I don't really care for shawls. I don't mind cardigans. But tops, I'd rather have a short sleeve top like the Misurina or the Alpine Bloom. I'm still trying to decide if I want to make a ranunculus or not, but I'm not sure if I want to jump on that bandwagon. Tin Can Knits has some cool ones. I have so many patterns, and I need to go not on a pattern band, but I just need to go through Ravelry and start making my patterns that I have. And I think that would be awesome, really. So we'll see how that goes, because every time I have something that I want to do, hence like clean the craft room, I always find something to distract me. But that being said, we will see what happens. So enjoy the rest of your day. Have that extra weekend day left. I didn't say I've been on here for a little bit. It's about 20 minutes to 4 in the afternoon. So there's plenty time to get out there and take a walk. Um, it's really nice today, and we're supposed to have a little heat wave coming this week before we start cooling down for fall. And enjoy what you're doing. Take a breath. Have a good day.